I know you already have a high rate of gun violence in Kansas City, but what has this particular tragedy meant?
Well, to me, it says several things, and one of those was mentioned just a moment ago by Vice President Pence in the interview. I think that actually it is this culture of fear and paranoia that's drummed up by some, including politicians like the former vice president, who mention it almost in a way as if it's an excuse for this type of action. This was in the safest neighborhood of Kansas City, or one of our safest neighborhoods, and this was a man who in his statement to the police said, "I was scared of this, in essence, large black person outside of his door. He thought the child was 6 feet tall. He's only 5'8". He thought he was a threat. He was on the other side of 2 locked doors. This is the sort of thing that happens when you have this culture of paranoia and fear that's being drummed up by politicians and some in the media. And of course, this fetishization, I've said before, of guns. More stand your ground laws, more laws that say you should use your gun and have it absolutely everywhere.
So, your governor, what do you make of that? And does it complicate things when the president gets involved, just given how divided our country is right now?
It absolutely does not complicate anything when the president gets involved. First of all, this was a news story, an incident, a situation that had the attention of the country long before President Biden called and actually did the just humane thing and gave best wishes to a boy who had just been shot twice. This is a 16-year-old in the Midwest who'd been shot twice. He gets a call from the President of the United States, which I think is a nice thing. But really, if you think about all the conversation, there was not a conversation I had certainly in this city, but with any mayors around the country who weren't noticing this story. The racial dynamic, the fact that these laws that are extreme are frankly arming our citizens and having them more scared, I think, than they've ever been before. This was an 84-year-old man who went to sleep in one of the safest neighborhoods of Kansas City, but still had a loaded gun. And when he heard a disturbance at his door, the first thing he thought to do wasn't just to brandish. It wasn't even to say a word or scream at somebody who would be outside. It was to shoot, and to shoot twice. The facts of this case were astonishing in and of themselves, and if the president never said a word, there would still be lots of attention. I strongly disagree with the governor, particularly when his party often has politicized any number of incidents relating to border crossings and beyond in places like Missouri, far away from our southern border, to use any number of political examples. I think that this is a serious situation, and the real politicization are the people who, after each one of these incidents, say, oh, let's blame it on mental health, let's blame it on society. It's tragic right now.
You just talked about your Republican governor, and I just want to point out that in